Donald Trump is on the verge of making an incredible comeback, potentially securing his place as the 47th President of the United States, a feat only achieved before by Grover Cleveland in the late 1800s. After a narrow defeat in Wisconsin during the last election, Trump is now projected to flip the state and clinch the presidency once again. His victory could mark a dramatic moment in U.S. history, with the return of a non-consecutive term president who this time comes back with new insights and lessons learned from his first time in office. But this isn't just about Trump. Alongside him, Senator J.D. Vance is projected to step into the role of the 50th vice president, completing a GOP powerhouse ticket that has resonated deeply with voters frustrated by the current administration. This duo's rise is not just about politics, it's about a wave of frustration, change, and the strategic pivot that Trump has made, particularly his ability to connect with urban voters, especially men, in a way that few expected. As we witness this dramatic shift, one thing is clear: America is on the brink of significant change. With the possibility of a landslide electoral win, Trump's return to the White House will not only reshape the political landscape, it could bring an entirely new era of leadership. So what exactly does a Trump comeback mean for the future of America? And what can we expect from his second term, especially after promising to learn from the turnover and chaos of his first presidency? Let's break it down. The heart of Donald Trump's comeback lies in one pivotal state, Wisconsin. This battleground state, which was a key factor in his loss 4 years ago, now seems to be shifting in his favor. In 2020, Trump narrowly lost Wisconsin by less than 1 percentage point, a blow that helped tip the scales in favor of Joe Biden. But in this cycle, Trump has made remarkable inroads, and the state is now predicted to swing back into his column, potentially sealing his return to the White House. Why is Wisconsin so crucial? In the 2016 election, Trump's victory in Wisconsin, along with a few other Rust Belt states, was seen as a political earthquake, flipping traditionally blue states red and securing him the presidency. The narrow loss in 2020 was a clear sign that the state's voters were up for grabs, especially given the demographic shifts and changing political landscape in the region. But Trump's message this time around appears to have resonated more strongly with voters, especially those in urban areas, a group he struggled to connect with during his first term. Trump's appeal to working-class voters, particularly men, has been a key strategy in his comeback bid. These voters, many disillusioned with the status quo, have found his rhetoric and policies more aligned with their concerns, especially regarding the economy, jobs, and immigration. Over the last few months, Trump has doubled down on this approach, focusing his message on rebuilding America's manufacturing base, addressing inflation, and curbing the influence of foreign powers. But it's not just the message, it's how effectively Trump has managed to flip the narrative. Unlike in 2020, when his presidency was heavily marred by the pandemic, economic turmoil, and his controversial handling of national protests, Trump has positioned himself as the candidate of change and stability this time. Voters seem to be signaling a desire for someone who promises to reset Washington, particularly after years of perceived stagnation under the Biden administration. The projected victory in Wisconsin is not just about numbers, it's a sign of a larger trend. Trump's political strategy is working, and he's capitalizing on the frustrations of many Americans. His comeback may well be more than just a political victory. It could be a reflection of a larger shift in American politics. As we dive deeper into Donald Trump's projected return to the White House, we must examine the electoral strategy that has proven to be his secret weapon, especially in urban areas and among men, two demographics that have historically been challenging for Republicans to mobilize effectively. During his first term, Trump struggled to make inroads with urban voters. Many viewed his policies and rhetoric as divisive, which led to strong opposition from big city populations. However, over the course of his comeback campaign, Trump has made significant strides in reversing this trend. His strategic outreach to working class men, particularly in places like Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, has paid off in unexpected ways. Trump's message of economic nationalism has resonated deeply with these voters. By focusing on issues such as job creation, trade, and immigration, he has positioned himself as the candidate who will put American workers first. His emphasis on revitalizing American manufacturing and bringing jobs back from overseas has struck a chord with those who feel left behind by globalization and shifting economies. This, combined with his tough stance on immigration and promises to secure the southern border, has led many to see him as the champion of their economic interests and security. Another key component of Trump's success has been his ability to connect with voters frustrated by the current administration. The ongoing issues of inflation, rising costs, and economic uncertainty under Joe Biden have given Trump an opening to present himself as a viable alternative. By framing the Biden administration as ineffective in addressing these issues, Trump has not only appealed to disillusioned Republicans, but has also won over independent voters who are looking for a change. What's particularly remarkable about Trump's strategy is the way he has doubled down on his previous messaging, refining it to fit the moment. He's fully aware of the challenges he faced in 2020, especially in key swing states like Wisconsin, Michigan, and Arizona, and has tailored his outreach to meet the concerns of voters who may have been on the fence before. His rallies, speeches, and social media presence have been laser focused on demonstrating that he is not just another politician, but a leader who understands the struggles of the average American. As Trump's message continues to resonate, it's clear that his return to the White House is not simply the result of a changing political landscape, but the result of a highly calculated and effective electoral strategy that has allowed him to break through to new constituencies. It's a strategy built on reaffirming promises to the forgotten working class while capitalizing on growing discontent with the status quo. As Donald Trump nears a potential return to the presidency, the big question on everyone's mind is, what will a second Trump term look like? While much of the focus has been on his electoral success and strategic messaging, it's equally important to understand what kind of leadership and policy changes he's expected to implement when he gets back to the White House. One thing is certain, Trump's second term will be very different from his first. He's not the same man who walked into the Oval Office in 2016, and after 4 years of intense challenges, from the COVID-19 pandemic to impeachment trials, Trump has learned from the high turnover and chaos that plagued his administration. With this new perspective, he has made it clear that he will not repeat the same mistakes. Perhaps the most notable shift will be in staffing and personnel decisions. In his first term, Trump's administration was marked by a high level of turnover, with key figures coming and going at a rapid pace. Many point to this as a symptom of his outsider status. Trump was a political novice when he first took office, and as a result, he often clashed with Washington insiders and struggled to build a stable team. But now, with nearly 4 years of experience under his belt, Trump has promised a more focused, cohesive leadership style. "I know whom I want to hire. I know what kind of people I want around me," Trump has said. This signals a significant departure from his first term, where there were frequent leadership changes and a revolving door of advisors. It's likely that Trump will prioritize loyalty and experience this time around, but it's also possible that he may continue to favor outsiders and individuals who are willing to challenge the status quo, especially when it comes to issues like immigration, trade, and the military-industrial complex. One of the more intriguing questions is whether Trump will bring back some of his former top officials, such as Mike Pompeo or Steve Mnuchin, or if he will turn to fresh faces. Regardless of who fills key positions, Trump has made it clear that he's learned from his first term's challenges, and he plans to run a much tighter ship with fewer distractions and greater accountability. In addition to staffing, Trump's approach to policy changes will likely focus on what he sees as unfinished business. Expect a renewed push for immigration reform, including further border security measures and a crackdown on illegal immigration. There will also be an emphasis on deregulation, particularly in industries like energy, technology, and healthcare, where Trump has long argued that excessive government interference stifles economic growth. Trump has also indicated that he intends to reshape foreign policy, focusing on strengthening America's position on the global stage, particularly with regard to China and Russia. Lastly, Trump's leadership will likely be shaped by the frustrations and anger many Americans feel toward the Biden administration. His campaign has capitalized on widespread discontent, positioning him as the clear alternative. His rhetoric promises that a Trump presidency will restore greatness to America, not just economically, but in terms of national pride, security, and sovereignty. If Trump does indeed return to the White House, expect a presidency that is decidedly different, with a more assertive, experienced leader at the helm who knows what he wants and who is prepared to fight for it. So what does this all mean for the future of America? If Donald Trump does indeed become the 47th president of the United States, we're looking at a political shift that could reshape the very landscape of the nation. His projected win in Wisconsin, his refined electoral strategy, and his promise of a more focused second term all point to a major transformation transformation, not just in Washington, but in how the country moves forward. Trump's comeback is not just about returning to power, it's about fulfilling a vision he believes will make America great again in ways that resonate with millions of voters. With his new, more experienced approach, he's looking to restore what he sees as lost American values: economic prosperity, national security, and a stronger global presence. Whether you support him or not, there's no denying that his influence has deeply shaped the political conversation in America and will continue to do so for better or worse. As we look ahead, the key question is, what kind of America will Trump help build in his second term? Will he be able to unite a divided nation and implement the bold changes he promises? Or will the challenges he faced in his first term come back to haunt him? Only time will tell, but one thing is clear: the next chapter of American politics will be unlike anything we've seen before. Now, we want to hear from you. What do you think about Trump's return? Do you believe he'll be able to make the changes he's promising? Or do you think we're heading for more political turmoil? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed this breakdown. Subscribe for more insights into the shifting political landscape, and stay tuned, because with the election season fast approaching, the story is just beginning.